Harsh, that is about that thing is going on. I told you, whatever project we make, they create a crisis. So India currently Kishan Ganga and Ratle pe it is making dams. So us pe India is trying to resolve the issue. Pakistan is not willing to resolve the issue. तो उसी पे notice खेल रहे. But we know the politics behind it. The main politics is that nationalism is a very good tool to divert attention. Pakistan is trying to diverting attention from its economic crisis to nationalism. जैसे मैं बोल रहा था, nationalism is a new tool for every wrong things you do. जैसे for example, everyone call themselves India nowadays. Example, Mr. Adani ji. बेचना नहीं करेगा वो, because already Pakistan is NSG में जाना चाहता. हमने NSG का, we did the case of NSG. Pakistan also wants to be in NSG, that we want to be NSG. So it will not do something that it can be taken as हाँ. अभी हम मिडल ईस्ट करेंगे हर्ष, then we will get to know that Middle East is going from a significant change. They are moving toward realism. Nationalism is an assertion around the world, because even Middle East is impacted by globalization, and globalization is nothing but capitalism in its global form. And capitalism, along with capitalism comes nationalism. It's a common thread. So what I was saying, nationalism is nowadays a lot of misused. Jैसे a Hindenburg report has been published. Hindenburg report has been published about Adani's work, and it has called Adani's empire as the India's largest corporate fraud. And none of the media has covered. Common sense. Okay. But the thing is कि we don't know whether Adani has really done. देखिए एक dimension होता है इसमें. The thing is, Adani is the third richest person now. The Western countries cannot tolerate an Indian as the third richest person. So this angle is of course there, no doubt that everyone try to undermine some other MNCs. They would. It's a research group of USA. Research करता है basically. It research on various back. They have published a report. Hindenburg is a research group. Just for example, you have research group, think tank you can call it. It carry out research. US में there, I told you we have understood everything. We live in a US made world. We need to do research on every company or only some specific? Maybe I believe they do research on almost all companies, but the thing is, right now they have published report on Hindenburg. Hindenburg has published report on. तो देखिए, one thing is clear. Yes, there is biasness, no doubt, because I told you we always look toward other from our perspective. But what I am concerned about is that if they have claimed that this person has committed India's largest corporate fraud, then I believe it is the onus of government of India to investigate. Our partial non-partisan investigation must be ordered to see whether something has happened or not. देखिए अगर नहीं हुआ है, so everything is hunky and dory, do the investigation, put a report and criticize Hindenburg, then take legal action against Hindenburg. But if you're not investigating, media is not covering it, so what it is showing? Unintentionally, I have always said, when we are Indians, so we are invested in Indian sentiments. The way Pakistanis invest in Pakistan sentiments, Chinese invest in Chinese sentiments. We always take the sides of our nation. Whatever our government says, we take that side, IR especially. But the third person who is standing there, he is invested in neither. The third person is neither invested in Hindenburg nor invested in Adani. So for them, if there is no investigation by government of India, they will conclude that there is something to hide. It's not a good idea, वैसे. But I don't think investigation will be ordered, but I believe it should be. Order kariye, investigation, if there is no fraud, let the investigation run. It will prove nothing wrong has happened, and then you can take legal recourse to Hindenburg. How dare you to publish such report? The allegation, but you will go for allegation, not the right to publish. Everyone has the right to publish. Because they found something, they published. You criticize it, you counter it. But now the new stand has been taken is that the Hindenburg is not trying to defame Adani, it is trying to defame India. So Adani India, India Adani, ये समझ नहीं आया मेरे को. Told you ना, there is a problem that everyone tries to link them to the nation. Criticism of an MP is the criticism of Parliament. Criticism of Chief Minister of Delhi is the criticism of Delhi government. Criticism of Prime Minister of India is the criticism of Government of India. These are individuals. They serve Bharat Mata. They are not themselves Bharat Mata. बात समझ में आ रही है? That is the problem with nationalism. It is too much abused nowadays. जैसे आप यूक्रेन वॉर में देखिए, Russia invading, I told you, Russia invading Ukraine, national interest. Ukraine fighting Russia, national interest. US supporting Ukraine, national interest. We supporting nobody, national interest. So that is the thing. Nonetheless, it's a good case study. You can understand the dimensions there. So that's why I gave you a reference. लद्दाख का तो एनवायरमेंटल वाला है. हाँ, yes, उस पे काउंटर रिस्पॉन्स आ गया आज था. They have said that you cannot protect your fraud by nationalism and jingoism. If you really want, come to US. They are openly challenging the Adani group and saying, if you really are innocent, challenge us in US, file a case in US. फिर देखते हैं. Because understand, if they file a case in US, there is something called as legal discovery process. When you file a case, now you present documents. The counterparty can ask the court for some document to be revealed. उस case में, if Adani files a case in US, they have to reveal a lot of documents. And Hindenburg को तो मजा आ जाएगा. ठीक है. They will enjoy the process.
Recently, due to Pakistan crisis, India gave some 10-90 days for Indus Treaty.
Threat. मोदी भी एलिगेशन पर बैन. अब ठीक नहीं है. देखिए, मैं हमेशा कहता हूँ फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच इज नोबडीज पर्सनल प्रॉपर्टी. जैसे BBC documentary, even if it is a propaganda, government should not ban it. The same way that Gandhi Godse movie that has come, that a Kashmir file has come. All movies, even if they are propaganda, they must be allowed. Freedom of speech cannot be selective, that you allow Kashmir file, not BBC documentary. Allow both. Let the people choose. Anyway, but it's not new to this government. All government has done. Indira Gandhi during her time also did the same things. So nonetheless, what we are discussing is IR में the most important concept that I was talking from this example is national interest. The most abused concept. चलिए, nonetheless, शुरू करें. अब now we have to write the last thing, that is India US. Sorry? हाँ. That is, I told you, whatever project we make on Indus, they challenge it. So the Kishan Ganga and Ratley Dam that we are constructing, uspe we want to solve the issue. Pakistan is not willing to solve the issue. Uspe chal raha hai wo drama. But anyway, nobody will solve the issue. Israel always supports India.
Israel wants to support now Pakistan, they have to clear issues with India.
Israel is supporting India. If it wants to support Pakistan, then
they have to clear all issues with India. It's Israel gave something statement to Pakistan.
You are saying Israel wants to support Pakistan.
Pakistan wants to seek help from Israel.
Okay.
So Israel told that if you want our help, you have to clear all issues of India.
अच्छा, देखिए, again मैं बोलूँगा, no country will come to your help just because you love them. Israel does not care about India. It cares about India's population. India is the world's second largest Muslim population. India is the world's second largest and world largest Shia population. Third largest, I think second largest है India में. Check the कोई नहीं, you just check the fact. India has the I believe second largest Muslim population after Indonesia and the largest population of Shias in the world. So actually what Israel wants a recognition. India recognizing Israel, having good relations, it's a kind of recognition of the world's second largest Muslim population. Anyway, Israel के अब relation ठीक हो गए हैं, almost all Islamic world से, that we will do Abrahamic Accords. Sign हो रहे हैं. Nonetheless, remember, Middle East में Israel is no longer a question. The only question in Middle East is Shia Sunni, and that is also a part of politics. Religion and nationalism, the two biggest opium. all throughout history, both are highly abused concept throughout history. चले करेंगे. So defense में we had to look. This was some general idea about what is going on in our country. Next is defense agreement. So what has happened? I told you, India has signed a number of defense agreement with the USA. Number of agreements which are getting very, 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 very important because, for example, your BECA, Base Exchange Cooperation Agreement, your SISMOA, this is Information Exchange Agreement, your LEMOA, Logistic Memorandum of Agreement. Basically, what are all these agreements? These agreements basically mean that India is now the major non-NATO ally of USA. Our today's time, if you look at India's defense partnership with the USA, it is more important, more critical than even energy partnership. Because energy में we signed a civil nuclear agreement, उसके बाद से nothing much has gone on the civil nuclear energy front. It's costly. There are numerous issues. We have discussed all the issues CL and DA वाले में. 17B and कौन सा section था दूसरा? कौन सा? One was 17B. Second section? हाँ, सारे नोट्स देखोगे अब. हाँ, टॉट वाला था. क्या था सेक्शन का नाम? Yes. Huh? Which one? अरे नोट देख के तो सही बताओ. Yes, Sarajit, right. 46. तो हमने पढ़ा था उसमें number of issues are going on. This में issue नहीं है. तो what we have to debate right now is India going near to US defense on defense perspective? Is it good or bad? देखिए vis-a-vis Russia it is bad because in DITI we established Defense Technology and Trade Initiative. I think in 2015 it was established. After this, India and US defense relationship is going very integrated. अब इससे क्या हो रहा है? Why we are doing this? Because you know that India is necessary for USA to pass the buck vis-a-vis China. India is trying to pass the buck to India. Sorry, US is trying to pass the buck to India vis-a-vis China, and we also need USA. And we know that Russia is no longer a superpower. The only superpower in the world is US. Whether you will like it or not, we have to go to the US. And Russia, China, Pakistan access is there. So because of this, it is happening. We are integrating with the US, thinking that US is the way forward. But nonetheless, में dispute चल रहा है. Dispute क्या चल रहा है? Among scholars, there is a dispute. Is it good or bad? So what you people think? We have discussed a lot about India-US. आपको क्या लगता है? This deeper integration of India with US on defense side, is it good or bad? I told you, we always maintain equilibrium. ठीक है? So situationally it depends. Kind of both up to a limit. To some extent it's good because it allows to be a partner with a superpower, no doubt. It's bad to an extent because it unnecessarily pushing Russia away. We don't need Russia as such, but the problem is still most of our defense equipment is Russian in origin. Servicing वगैरह में time लगता है. It will take 20 to 30 years. By the time we will move away from Russian equipments. So a large part is dominated by Russia. Second thing is Russia and China are geographically near to us. We understand this also because look at what happened with Ukraine. Lot of promises were made to Ukraine by NATO members, including USA. But when a war was initiated, I told you, agar USA literally wanted to protect Ukraine, na, it would have included Ukraine a lot ago in NATO. They intentionally did not introduce Ukraine in NATO and intentionally made the talks कि NATO में आ जाएंगे. इससे क्या हुआ? You achieved your goal. You basically bait and bleed Russia. You baited Russia that Ukraine may join NATO. If you are really concerned about Ukrainian security, you should have included Ukraine along back in NATO. बात समझ में आ रही है सबको? तो इंडिया के केस में कॉन्टेक्स्ट क्या है? तो we are getting deeply integrated with the US on defense. But the problem is that geographically we are near to China, Russia and Pakistan. So what is the guarantee that US will not leave us high and dry in case of a war? देखिए US will not risk a direct confrontation with China for India. It may risk it if it feels that China may replace USA. Then only we understood US is concerned about India as a balancer against China. And the second most important component US was interested in India's economy. There were two reasons US wanted India. One was China, for which all these agreements and civil nuclear cooperation and all. Second most important component was India's economy. India had a large middle class population. And middle class means purchasers, buyers, consumers. And US is a neoliberal corporate friendly country. उनके लिए तो मार्केट है इंडिया, अब नहीं है, वो एक अलग बात है. Now this dimension is already gone. Who is responsible? I cannot say. I love my freedom. ठीक है, who is responsible? I cannot say. But nonetheless, we all understand. इसमें आपको इकोनॉमी में कराया जाएगा. इकोनॉमी whoever will teach you that twin balance sheet and 4 balance sheet problems. वहाँ पे you will understand about the balance sheet problem that emerged, that started with demonetization. It is the initiation point. I always say, for example, people often blame Corona and Ukraine war for their depredation. So ऐसे समझिए, if you have 100 rupees in your pocket, so Corona, demonetization took 50 rupees, and then Corona and Ukraine took another 50 rupees. So you are virtually bankrupt. If demonetization would not have happened, then Ukraine and Corona would have taken 50 rupees. So you still would be having 50 rupees. बात समझ में? That is what has happened since demonetization. अगर आप देखेंगे इंडिया की इकोनॉमी, since demonetization, Indian economy was on a continuous slide. Corona and Ukraine war are addition to this. और उसके अलावा we have seen numerous Saturday we did in current event. There is a flight of both capital and people from India. Flight of India में पहली बार I think 8 lakh or something people have given up membership of India within a year. The citizenship of India, the giving up rate of citizenship of India has increased multiple fold. Numerous reasons. पहला reason ये होता है देखिए economy. For example, I'm a businessman. If the economy of a country is good, I would tolerate the risk. But economy is already tanked. India does not have very attractive economy. First thing. Second thing is, I can still stay in the country if I feel the politics is good. Businessmen require only two things: security and good economy. If polity is bad, so much class division is going on, caste division is going on, lynching is going on, venomous wording is going on. So I would not like to invest in that country, because today it may be stable, tomorrow it may be unstable, and my investment would be unstabilized. So a lot of people are leaving Indian citizenship for two reasons. First is economy is not very attractive, so they have no incentives to stay in India. Second reason is the polity of India. The kind of divide that is going on, which all report highlights, is very dangerous. जैसे previous class में, previous Saturday we were doing the Holocaust education in India. There was a good article about should we introduce Holocaust education in India, the Jew genocide that Hitler carried out. Should we introduce that? क्या लगता है आपको? Then we will write this. Holocaust, the Jew genocide is known as Holocaust. It was an article that we should introduce Holocaust education in India. Should we introduce Holocaust education? Means education about the events that led to the killing of Jews in India. करना चाहिए, बिल्कुल करना चाहिए. मैंने उस समय I told you that the thing is, rather than making Central Vista, we should make a national museum of shame. उसमें we should put all the atrocities like Sikh genocide. Government of India calls Sikh riots. It was a genocide. It's a pogrom. They were systematically killed. It had all the ingredient of a genocide. So Sikh genocide, 2002 का Gujarat में Godhra riots, this Muzaffarpur riots, UP, whatever such kind of incident that have happened, आपका Blue Star operation, all these must be put in the national shame of India, a museum. It is not to celebrate or demean the Bharat Mata or the India. It is to keep every Indian reminded to what your leaders have achieved. Got the point? And it should be the part of school curriculum. Every year, at least once, every student in India must be taken to this museum and show and all the graphic reality of this riots and lynchings must be shown to them. Got the point? That was the article we discussed in previous Saturday, that Holocaust kind of education is very necessary. It can prepare the current population from any future genocidal effects. अभी लोग मजाक में लेते हैं इन चीजों को, radicalization को people think हाँ ठीक है देख लेंगे. Got the point? So it was a good article. Nonetheless, I believe, as I saying, but it can also ignite them. That's why I said education. Teach them, tell them how it took place and who is responsible. Again, not legally, morally responsible. Imagine if you are the Prime Minister of India and under your watch a Sikh genocide take place, then you are responsible. Legally may not be, because you did not initiate it, you did not participate. Morally you are. इसलिए for example, if some event happen, मान लेते हैं some train get derails, a lot of people die, तो लोग क्या कहते हैं? The rail minister must resign. अब उसने थोड़ा derail करी थी ट्रेन, वो थोड़ा क्या था ट्रेन की पटरी उखाड़ने. He was not involved there, he did not do the thing, but because he is a rail minister, the responsibility of the safety of Indian people is on him. The onus is on him, so he must tender a resignation on moral grounds. सबको बात समझ में आ रही है? The thing is to, हाँ एयर इंडिया में भी होना चाहिए था बट कैसे होगा? चलिए एनीवे, बात क्लियर है. देयर आर लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स दैट वी कैन अंडरस्टैंड. Okay, then everyone start writing. What the heading we have put? Heading. ठीक है. Cool. Write down within this. Though civil nuclear, though THOUGS, though civil nuclear cooperation heading है India US defense relationship. The heading is India US defense relationship. Within this you have to write, though civil nuclear cooperation is a pillar of changed Indo-US relations. Changed Indo-US relations, full stop. But the real improvement has taken place. In defense relationship. Full stop. Next para. Today, USA is the leading defense supplier to India. Is the leading defense supplier to India, and India is the major defense partner of USA. And India is the major defense partner of USA. India is the major defense partner of USA. Full stop. India US entered in defense cooperation framework. Entered in defense cooperation framework first in 2005. Comma, which was later renewed in 2015. which was later renewed in 2015. Full stop. Subheading: Foundational agreements. Foundational agreements. Foundational agreements. Number one, LEMOA. This one. LEMOA. LEMOA. LEMOA within bracket. Logistics Exchange. Logistics Exchange Memorandum of Agreement. Logistics Exchange Memorandum of Agreement. Within this, write down. It gives access. It gives access to both countries. It gives access to both countries to selected military facilities. To selected military facilities for the purpose of refueling, and other logistic support. For the purpose of refueling and other logistic support. Full stop. This is not a basing agreement. This is not a basing, BASING. This is not a basing agreement. Full stop. It means there will be no basis. It means there will be no basis of US or India. Of US or India on each other's soil. US or India on each other's soil. I told you it's a logistic support only. देखिए basing agreement का मतलब ये होता है, for example, the way Japan has with USA. US warplanes, US ships can dock in Japan. They stay on Japanese port. US army is on the US Japanese soil, South Korea and other soil. इसमें क्या होगा लॉजिस्टिक फॉर एग्जांपल अ यूएस प्लेन हैज टू बॉम्ब मान लेते हैं कोई मिडिल ईस्टर्न कंट्री फॉर दैट इट विल फ्लो फ्रॉम यूएस इट विल लैंड इन इंडिया गेट रिफ्यूल गेट रिपेयर्ड देन इट विल गो बैक टू द इट्स टारगेट इट विल नॉट स्टे इन इंडिया बेसिक बेस एक्सचेंज का मतलब होता है दैट वी विल हैव अ मिलिट्री बेस इन यूएस वेयर इंडियन ट्रूप्स विल बी देयर permanently stationed. Similarly, US troop will be in India permanently stationed. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. It is just a logistic supports agreement. Clear everyone? हमें तो कुछ फायदा नहीं है. यही हम एनालिसिस में लिखेंगे. Scholars vary कर रहे हैं. Some says it will help us because it will build confidence building and we can acquire weapons and all. For example, F-16 वगैरह जो हो रहे हैं हमारे, the F-16 planes that we will acquire, which I believe Reliance or somebody will make that. उस पर भी dispute चला था. Indian government has launched a new model, strategic partnership model. In this model, earlier what used to happen, I told you that a foreign company used to collaborate with Indian government company like DRDO, HAL and all, and they used to produce plane and all. Now that under this new model, Indian government will act like US government. US government is just a negotiator. It is not the provider. It negotiates on behalf of its private military companies. They provide the weapons and all. जैसे फ्रांस में हमने रफाल लिया. We have not taken Rafale from French government. We have taken from France Dassault, जिसे Dassault भी कहते हैं. France Dassault company. You got the point? उसमें France was just a negotiator as a sovereign. Similarly, India will act as a negotiator, and Indian private companies will collaborate with US private companies to produce वेपन्स लाइक F-16 जो भी बनते हैं हमारे, उस मॉडल की बात हो रही है। नेक्स्ट पॉइंट लिखिए एवरीवन। नेक्स्ट इज बेका, दिस वन, BECA, बेका। Next agreement is BECA, within bracket basic exchange and cooperation agreement. Basic exchange and cooperation agreement. Within this, write down, it is for geospatial intelligence. It is for geospatial intelligence, means geographical intelligence basically. ठीक है, next agreement. Next agreement, GS-MIA. GS geospatial Pragitka, it means, sorry Harsh, it means geospatial intelligence, मतलब geographical intelligence, like satellite and other kind of activity they capture, no? That can be exchanged between India and USA. है? हाँ, अभी लिखिए GS-MIA. GS-MIA में within bracket write down general security of military information agreement. General security of military information agreement. Next, fourth agreement, COMCASA, this one. स्मॉल लिखा हुआ है मैंने, COMCASA. COMCASA. अब कर रहे हैं COMCASA within bracket write down. नहीं, these all are different agreement है. पहला आपका LEMOA था, second is BECA, third is GS-MIA, fourth is COMCASA. These all are different agreements. Within fourth write down, full form लिखिए, communication compatibility and security agreement. Communication compatibility and security agreement. Now write down subheading. Subheading में please write down issues with GS-MIA and COMCASA. Subheading issues with GS-MIA and COMCASA. Within this write down, it will help transfer high-end encrypted communication systems. Help in transfer high-end encrypted communication systems to India. To facilitate the exchange of military information. Facilitate the exchange of military information, full stop. This agreement is prerequisite. This agreement is prerequisite for any classified military information. This agreement is prerequisite for any classified military information. This agreement is prerequisite for any classified military information exchange between US last line है, full stop के बाद we were writing this agreement is prerequisite, मतलब required before anything happens. This agreement is prerequisite for any, previous to this, it will help in transfer It will help in transfer of high-end encrypted communication system. High-end encrypted communication systems to India. Done? एक बार लाइन रिपीट करना पूरी. प्लीज रिपीट द लाइन. Exchange between US and any third country. US and any third country means US always sign with this all the countries. Between US and any third country. Full stop. Subheading within this. Within this we are writing issues में. Subheading India's argument. India's argument में write down. India wants a guarantee from US. India wants a guarantee from US that it will not share. That it will not share India's data with any third country. It will not share India's data with any third country. Full stop. Next point. India's argument में next point. US will not access. US will not access India's communication system. US will not access India's communication system without prior permission. Communication system without India's prior permission. Full stop. Third point. The choice to upgrade. The choice to upgrade the equipments will rest on India, comma, not US. Will rest on India, comma, not US. Because if something upgrade has to be done, for example, software upgrade. Software upgrade में क्या होता है? Most of the time, they snoop your data. Whenever, for example, you upgrade your phone, during upgradation, your phone is unencrypted. Phone, usually it is, for example, you have an iPhone. iPhone is encrypted. But when you are upgrading it from OTA, जैसे बोलते हैं, over the air वाला, in that when it is upgrading, it goes to a root format. Root format में it is highly vulnerable. उस केस में if I make a software and I give you an update, I can do whatever I want with your data. During that upgradation process, I can access whatever you have. तो हम वो नहीं चाहते कि if there is an upgrade, then we will decide when it will happen and how it will happen. US नहीं decide करेगा. दमन ये these arguments are for the last two agreements. उस पे issue चल रहा है. They are yet to be signed. पहले के दो साइन हो चुके हैं. अगेन फिर मैं बोलूंगा दिस गारंटी अगर यूएस दे भी देता है, इवन इफ यूएस गिव दिस गारंटी, देन इट विल बी अ पीस टाइम गारंटी. इफ वी विल बी एट अ वॉर विद यूएस, यूएस रिस्पेक्ट करेगा इस गारंटी को? नहीं करेगा. सो वी हैव टू मेक अ स्ट्रेटेजिक चॉइस नाउ कि आर वी विलिंग टू कॉम्प्रोमाइज टू बी द पार्ट ऑफ यूएस और नॉट, बिकॉज वंस वी साइन दिस अग्रीमेंट virtually we are with US, whether we like it or not. The kind of double game we always played, we cannot play now. For example, earlier what we used to do, I gave you an example. We made missiles and we did not have any navigation system. So what we did is we installed with both Russian and US navigation system. So that if we have to use against Russia, we will use US GPS. If we have to use against US, we will use Russian. What was the name? I forgot the name. GLONASS. Yes, Russian GLONASS. The other navigation system BDS. I think उसका है. China का. I believe. We have Navik. बाइडियो ओके बहुत से हैं गैलीलियो अब तो बहुत नेविगेशन हो गए एनीवे अच्छा जो चाहे जो यूज कर लो वो अच्छा है चलिए नेक्स्ट सब हेडिंग में प्लीज राइट डाउन शुड इंडिया साइन सच अग्रीमेंट्स should India sign such agreements within this write down नंबर 1 में लिखिए फर्स्ट पैरा अकॉर्डिंग टू हैप्पी मोन जेकब according to Happy Moon Jacob, these agreements are more useful to US. These agreements are more useful to US than India. More useful to US than India. Full stop. So he suggests India needs to evaluate. So he suggests that India needs to evaluate all sides. Needs to evaluate all sides before signing the agreement. Evaluate all sides before signing the agreement. Full stop. Next para. According to Ashok K. Mehta. According to Ashok K. Mehta, these are not just defense agreements. These are not just defense agreement. Semicolons. These are not just defense agreements. Semicolons. They are strategic binding between India and US. They are strategic binding between India and US. Full stop. Next para. According to C. Raja Mohan. According to C. Raja Mohan, any agreement is not a wedlock. Shadi, wedlock is not a wedlock that cannot be broken. Any agreement is not a wedlock that cannot be broken. Full stop. These are just common understanding. These are just common understanding against a common threat. These are just a common understanding against a common threat. Full stop. They persist as long as a common threat remains. They persist as long as a common threat remains and break down as soon as the common threat disappears. They persist as long as the common thread remains, and they break down. And they break down as soon as the common thread disappears. Full stop. It means India should not think twice. India should not think twice before signing the agreements. Think twice before signing the agreements because the national interest is served. Because the national interest is served. And whenever the national interest is served, and whenever the national interest is jeopardized, national interest is jeopardized, India can break the pact. India can break the pact. Full stop. For example, India's stand in Ukraine war. Full stop. For example, India's stand in Ukraine war. Then everyone. So this is all we have about India and USA. Any question about India USA? We cannot initiate any new topic. Tomorrow we will do India Russia. शॉर्ट नोट नहीं लिखा अभी तक हमने. कौन कौन से पे शॉर्ट नोट आ गया? एफएमसीटी और आईआर की अभी तो और क्लास चलेंगी बिकॉज वी हैव 1 hour क्लास और प्रीवियस वीक में वी हैड ओनली 3 क्लासेस. दिस इज द प्रॉब्लम. If we get 1.5 hour class, then we will finish it by mid-Feb. 1 or 2 week at most. देखते हैं. अच्छा, न्यूकॉन मिशन एंड एफएमसीटी 2 शॉर्ट नोट्स. एनी अदर? चलिए लिखिए, फिर लिख लेते हैं. राइट डाउन शॉर्ट नोट ऑन एफएमसीटी. शॉर्ट नोट ऑन एफएमसीटी. Within bracket, fiscal material cutoff TT. Fiscal material cutoff TT. Bracket close. Within this, write down. FMCT aims to restrict the production. FMCT aims to restrict the production and trade of fiscal material. Trade of fiscal material that can be used. Fiscal material that can be used to prepare nuclear weapons. That can be used to prepare nuclear weapons. Full stop. This treaty is still in negotiations. This treaty is still in negotiations. Full stop. Subheading. Why? Subheading. Why? Within this, I don't. Pakistan has put a veto. Pakistan has put a veto over the treaty. Pakistan has put a veto over the treaty because of the following. Put a veto over the treaty because of the following. Number 1, Pakistan wants all material Pakistan wants all material to be covered under FMCT. All materials to be covered under FMCT. Second point, Pakistan wants both existing and new material to be covered. Both existing and new material to be covered. Well, basically, it wants कि all kind of materials, uranium, plutonium, thorium, everything should be covered. Materials, metals I told you, materials माने uranium, plutonium, thorium, that can be used for nuclear weapons as well. It wants कि there should be all the material, whatever is the form must be covered. Second thing, even existing must be covered, because it argues that country like USA, India, वगैरह, they have produced a lot of fissile material. If now we have FMCT and it covers only new material, then this country will be at advantage. And Pakistan says, I don't have that much of material, so I will be at disadvantage. So cover all materials. Now is it clear? Okay. Next subheading, India and US argument. Next subheading, India and US argument. India and US arguments. Number one, they want only few materials to be covered. They want only few materials to be covered. Second, they want the new stockpiles. They want the new stockpiles to be covered. New stockpiles to be covered, comma, not the existing one. New stockpiles to be covered, comma, not the existing one. Done. Next, देखिए short note on neocon mission. Short note on neocon mission. देखिए India US want two things. पहला, they want few materials to be covered. Second point, they want existing stockpiles. They want new stockpiles to be covered, not the existing one. Materials like uranium, thorium, plutonium, which can be used. It's universal, Daman. It's universal. That's why Pakistan has vetoed it. All treaties except NPT is under negotiation. CTBT, FMCT, jitni bhi treaty we have seen. CTBT, FMCT, PTBT, and NPT. These all are basically aimed to control nuclear world. Except NPT, rest of the treaties are under negotiation. चलिए जल्दी से लिख लेते हैं short note on neocon mission. Please write down. It is a neo-conservative mission. It is a neo-conservative mission that evolved. It is a neo-conservative mission that evolved in US. Neo-conservative mission that evolved in US, full stop. It basically means installing democracy at gunpoint. Installing democracy at gunpoint. Installing democracies at gunpoint. Full stop. Second, next para. The scholars argue that democracy at gunpoint. Scholars argue that democracy at gunpoint never works. The democracy at gunpoint never works, as can be seen Democracy at gunpoint never work, as can be seen in Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, and so on. Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, and so on. Okay? So these are the short notes. It covers tomorrow. We will start India, Russia. Only India, Russia is remaining. Then we will go for regional powers like Latin America and all. Then regional bodies and done. TPA. What is TPA? What is TPA, Radha? WTO. वो बोला ना, वो आएगा इंटरनेशनल बॉडीज में, UN, WTO, IMF, वर्ल्ड बैंक. That will be our last major topic.